Welcome back, guys. My name is Abdul Mahai, and welcome to challenge number 2. So, I don't know basically what's going on. I haven't got in detail about what is actually going on, but this is our second challenge. I think I'll be posting this challenge in the same way as the first challenge, just to, provide some bonus in terms of since I'm new to this thing of challenges, let's just push 2 on the first day. So, this is our challenge. Let's go to our folder structure. So let's put this thing on the side, and then try to see if we can. So this is our YouTube challenges. So now we're going to be creating our new folder called what? Challenge. It's challenge 2. Let's open this thing. We're going to be opening our terminal from here. Okay, let's bring it over here. Same thing. I wish I could automate this thing. .NET new console. Maybe I should write some text file and copy this command, so that next time I just copy paste instead of. Okay. So this is nice. Now we're gonna be putting this one here, and then. Okay, this is it. Okay, let's trust author in this thing and the author. Okay, so I hope you can be able to see. Okay, so now we do have this practicals. So let's enter the correct asset. Okay, to do this practical, have them run down from week 3 with you. You will build on this memo. Okay, seems like this is incomplete stuff. Seems like we do have to have something before. No rundown for week 3. So this is week 4 practical. We need a week 3 practical before we get to week 4. Okay, but anyway, let's see. You need to write a program for members who belong to the club. For each member, you store the member's name, merit point, and new member starts with 0 merit point. Implement a class called member on which has private attributes name points, on which these are the things they specified here. In addition to the constructor, the class also has the following methods. So we do have get name, we get points, add points, display member, and which displays what? The name and points of a member. Okay, we do understand that one. In the application class, main method, implement the following. So I do believe this is what they're talking about. This is what we're gonna do. This is considered to be our application class. Implement the following methods. We add member, add points, subtract points, top member. Easy. Okay, so meaning these are the functions we're going to be implementing here, and then we come to this point. Implement the main method which contains the form, and which this is the main method that is being implemented for us, a declarative of an array of members which can take 10 members. It can take 10 members, or it must take 10 members. I don't know. We'll just make it take 10 members strictly. And then they say calls to relevant methods, which does the following: add 5 member. So this method add 5 members, adds point for a specific member. Oh, so we should create a method on which it will add 5 members, and then adds point for a specific member, subtract points for a specific member, display the top member, display all members. Basically, these are the functions that we have created here. This is interesting. Why do we need the memo form? To do this, have a Okay, but anyway, I feel like probably this was the same thing that has been provided on the Pride 3 because we can create this thing from the scratch. So okay, for example, let's look at this thing. We do have a class called member, and then we have our application class on which it is one. So that means we have to create a class called what? Member. Let's do that. So let's go with even if, and then this thing have what? There's a, for each member you must provide the member's name, and then from then we must provide what? We must also provide the merit points. So I'll just say merit points, and then implement the class member, which is a private attribute. Oh, they're private. So let me just do this. Okay, what am I doing? What is that button? Oh, I just have to say. I forgot about this thing. So it's called private. So now they are private, and then so now what do we do next? So start with the merit points of zero. So let's create a constructor on which it's called member. Here we just want to say merit points is equals to 0. Okay. Implement which has a private attribute. Okay. In addition to the construct that allows. Okay, did they say anything about the construct here? Okay, public get name, get points. So meaning the since we don't have a point where we set the constructor, since we don't have a part where we set the name, so that means we're gonna be setting the name through this thing. What about the points? Can we set the points through the constructor? Now we do have a part of adding points. So meaning when a member starts with 0 points, automatically that means we don't have to do that thing. We already have a construct. All I just need to do is member name. This is all I need, and then from there I'm just gonna say name is equal to member name. This is basically all we need, and then we're gonna copy all these functions. These are the functions that we need, and then I'm just gonna come here, do this to be able to format this thing. Let's see. Okay, we managed to format it with it. So now let's return 0 just to get rid of these errors. No errors. So now we're going to be implementing the functionality of these functions. So we do have get name, on which the simplest thing you do is just returns the name of the member. So what we're going to do, we're just going to do some arrow function in which we're going to provide name. We're done, get points, same thing, on which, okay, I think that, points. What is it? Okay, merit points. Add points, on which, what do we do? Okay, no problem. Let's just add from here. So merit points plus equals to p. Display member. When we display member, that means display name and the points. Okay, so basically we need to format this thing. Let's do that. So we're gonna say I can just say member name and then provide what this dot name and then also shift from formatting this thing in pro points as well as the level points. Display member. So now display member is going to be formatted in that format. Okay, so the functionality of this thing is done, so that means we're done with this class. Now we move on to the application class. So the application class have this methods. Come back here. Okay, let's try to expand so that we okay, let me minimize it here. So let's do the same thing again. So I just want to be able to. So basically I need to the last one. Now let's format. Everything's good. Okay. So now let's get to understand the instructions. Add member. So we do have a list of member, an array of type member. Okay, yeah, it's been provided, and then also reference. This is basically almost the same exercise as the one that we do on the first challenge. Okay, so when we add a member, it's gonna be okay. So it says we should request the name of the member and add the member to the list, basically. So we're gonna do some console and go right. I'm just gonna say member, okay. And then from here, I'm gonna say name is equals to console.readline. And then from there we're gonna create an object of member, since we do have that thing, right? So we're gonna say list at the specific word number of element is supposed to new member. So now we provide what the name of this member. Yeah, and we're done with this part. Okay, now it comes the second part on which we add points. Static void add points. I think I'm going of something to drink. My tea is finished. So we do have a list again, and then we do have almost the same thing. So now we request the name of the member as well as the new point. The member received. So we request the name of the member. So meaning we provide what? The name of the member, and then we must make sure that the name of the member that is within this thing already, okay, that means the name that we provide should be inside the member list array. Meaning actually here what we did was wrong, because we must make sure first, before we insert, we have to make sure that we don't have what? We don't have any repetitive, or we don't have a duplicate of member names here, because the member name is like a primary key. If you're familiar with database, it should always be unique, otherwise this part won't function properly. Because if you provide the name and then we only to find out do we have members who share the same name, it's going to be a problem. But the instructions never specify that, right? So if I were to do it like in a proper way, I'll create a function basically. I'll do something like this. I'll say, let's make it a private void. I'll say member exists, something like this, on which actually I'll make it, let's make it basic, on which, okay, so member exists. So now here we just provide the name, and then what we're gonna do, okay, also we need the this array member And then from here we're gonna do some for in which member index. So this is 0 member index. This is the what? This dot length. And the member index we're gonna keep including. Let's format this thing. Actually, let's just expand this thing for now. So now we do know that, and then we're gonna do something. If we get to the point where like what list and specific index, and which is member index, is equals to name. Okay, dot get name, on which we get the name of this person, and then we check if this name of this person is equals to the name of the person that we're trying to get. If this is the case, we just want to return false. I mean, we're going to return true, right? Else we just want to return false. And then before we add, so we're gonna take the name, right, and then store it in here, and then we're gonna do some conditions. We can say if this member oh, we forgot to make it static. That's why you couldn't access it from this thing. If member exists, and then we're gonna provide the name. If member exists, okay, we need what? We need to provide the name also this list so that it goes through it. If member exists, meaning we can just do this, and then else, that means the member already exists. We can just say show some friendly message, console.write sorry, member already exists. So this is good. So now we know that every time when a member is being added, it is always a new member. That's something we are 100% sure of at this point. So now we're gonna add some points. So now with this code, so now we're just gonna say string name, which now it will be console. So, but before that, let's do I'll just say existing member, and then once we do that, and then so what we're gonna do now is try to find an index of the specific member that has the name of that thing. So we can write that thing here, but let's just try to define the duty for us. So we're gonna create some static private again, and we should member position. Let's say get member position, and we should provide what the name, so that we return what member index, which is equals to member index is less than what. Oh, we need also the that member list in list of members is that member index plus plus avoid conditions, the same conditions that we actually did here. So basically we just do this. So let's do it first. So if this is the case, that means we're just gonna return what? Member index. Return what? -1. So you know for sure here, if forever if get member position, and which we're gonna provide the list. Obviously, we provide the list and then we provide the name. So if it's not what, this is not equals to -1. So what we're gonna do, what are we gonna do? If get member position is not equals to -1, that means the member exists. That means we managed to get the current position of the member within the database or the list, I'm going to say. Then what are we going to do to that thing? We're going to say we can just get this person using what? Okay, let's actually take this part. member position. Yeah, supposed to. Then here we're just gonna do some member position, and then if member position, yeah, the endpoints on which we're gonna be what? Wait a minute, so add points, it only get the list and then number of elements within this thing. Okay, something as a number of elements. So, is it possible that this thing allows us, let's say for example, we do have a list, like I feel like this will so if our f is -1, does it mean we have to add now? I'm questioning that thing, because already we have a name and then we have the view. So instead of saying so the member doesn't exist, how about we add it? It would make sense since we have a reference on number of elements. Because why would we provide this thing if our L we're not gonna use it? Does it make sense? Like I don't know. You can comment down below if you have a way of solving it. Like I feel like for the fact that we provided a reference to this variable called number of elements, it means we want to try to do what? To improvise this value here. I feel like if however the member doesn't exist, we should just add it. But if however the member exists, then we should request the name as well as the point. So now we requested the name as well as the point. So now we have to request the point. So I'll just say member name instead of existing member name, so that that means that things, but that one is still good, because here it shows that the member doesn't exist, then we add member and then we add the points. That means the starting points. This one will quite make sense. And then we can, oh yeah, I feel like it's just, this is where you use it. Okay, so let's say points is equals to what? Number pass equals to apply. But before that, so we're taking two things, right? Okay, so now we need console alright, points obtained, and then since this one is just right, you have to break a line here so that it gets formatted nice and easy. And then we're just gonna add points, but else, meaning this is a new person, right? It's gonna meaning this is a new member, so we need to create a new member and add this person to this thing. So we're gonna say member. Do we have a function of add member? Oh, okay, but it doesn't take. We were gonna use this add member if it was taking this value. So now it doesn't. So we're gonna create a new member. So we're gonna say what? List this specific element is supposed to be new member, and then we're gonna specify member name. So here we can when we create. Okay, so we're gonna be creating this thing, and then we have to find that member key. Now, so what we're gonna do before we add here, I'm just gonna add new member, on which the name will just be the name. I'm gonna provide the name. So and then we're gonna say new member dot add points, on which we're gonna say points, and then from there, don't know why I keep making this mistake. And then from then, once we say new member dot add point, then that's when we're gonna say list add specific number of elements is equals to new member, and then number of elements obviously we're gonna plus them so that they increment. This is great. So we managed to complete our part here. Then we are good. So now we're gonna do the part of subtracting the points. So when you subtract the points, we do have a list and all that thing. So we need get member position, and we're gonna provide the list, and then subtract points. So to request the name again. So seems like this thing of requesting the names. Okay, I don't think we can create a function on. Can we create a function on which all the time it requests a name and then returns the name instead of us always doing this thing of like? I think we can do that, but let's just do it like this way here. So console console this pre-align. So what we're gonna do member console that read, and then what we're gonna do now, gonna be what is needed. So we can subtract while we know the member doesn't exist. That means every time when we subtract, that means the member should already be inside the state. Makes sense. So if position is not equals to -1, that means we do know that the member exists. Then we're gonna be doing something simple. I question, why do we always reference number of elements? because in this case there's nothing to decrement or increment. Like, unless it works like this, unless if your points, if your merit points go below 0, you get penalized, meaning we're gonna have to what, take out a member outside of this list and then decrement the number of members. This is the only solution this is the only reason this thing would make sense actually. But anyway, let's just keep that part. So if however this member exists, we're just gonna say a list at position dot what, we're gonna subtract. So when we add points, we're gonna add what? Okay, so here okay, wait. So we do have add only. Oh, no, let me check. So we only have, I meant to say, let's see the functions that we have here. We have get, we have this. Okay, so we have to say add points, and which we have to make them negative. So once we know that this person exists, then that's when we can take. Anyway, yeah, because it's pointless. Like, I feel like it's good if we make them provide the name of the member, and then later on, if it is found, and that's where we can say provide the points on which you wanna subtract from the merit points of this person. So it means here we're gonna do something like this. Merit points. Let me do this. Points. So plus. Yep. So else, that means this person doesn't exist. So we're gonna do something. Yeah. So basically, this is what it means. So now we're gonna say member doesn't exist. So if however, because we provide the name, and then if it exists, we're gonna provide the value. It's gonna provide the value to points, and then we reduce the points. Else, we're just gonna say sorry, member doesn't exist. Let's try to minimize these things, like the parts that we've done. Let's try to take them down, so that doesn't seem too big for us. Because it seems like here there's a lot of functions. So top member, display the name of the member with top points, meaning we have to keep track of the member with the highest points. Okay, so we do have a list. I don't know what this thing is for. I'm just gonna use it to iterate. So okay. So we need to keep track of the member who has the highest reference. How can we do that? Using a for loop. So we do have a list on which if we point, let's say if we point to the first member and then we check if there's any member who is greater than that. So it's like this. You're gonna be having the current, the highest. The current will be the first one. We're gonna take it as if like it's the highest. And then if we progress and realize that there's a person with greater points, then we're gonna point to that person as the current. And then we're gonna keep moving. Then if ever we find, meaning at the end, that means we're gonna iterate this thing once. Okay, so we're gonna follow. Okay. So I need a member, top member. I'm just gonna say first member. I'm just gonna do something like this. So, okay, actually, no, top member is not equal to member. Top member is equal to the first member, which is going to write the list positions here. So it's best if we start at 1, since we already like position. Yeah. So now what we're gonna do is that we're going to check something. If top member, the points, get points. That's what? It's less than at least. Okay, let's do it like this. Let's create variables to simplify this thing so that it's understandable. Let me call it top points, which is close to top member. Get points, get points. And then here, current. Supposed to list add what member index dot get points. Okay, so now we can just do something like this. We can say top points is less than what? Current points. We need to make some changes. Yeah. Then top member. You have to change the top member. Top member is equals to list member index. Basics. Hope it makes sense. So now it becomes what? So the top points is less than the current points, meaning we consider the first index to be the top member, only to realize the second one is greater than this one in terms of the points. Then we change them. Now this is our top one. Otherwise, we won't change this one. This one will always be pointing to the first one. It quite makes sense. And then we're gonna keep doing this thing until we get to the point where we're at the end. So when we're at the end, okay, yeah, this is good. I feel like that now we're done. So now we come to display members. This is the last part of this challenge. Is also display members. So what we're gonna be doing now. So we just go through every list of some member. member index is equal to member index is less than of elements member index. So now what we're doing is that we're just saying list display all members. No, dot display. We do a display member. This is it. We are done. So basically now we're done with writing the functions. This one was no. This one was no. So now comes the part. Okay, let's go back to this thing to see if we still understand what is happening. Implement the main method containing. So now we're going to add 5 members. Okay. So this is the first part. So we're gonna do is then I plus let's just say adding 5 members. Alright, so now we do have add member. So first of all, we need to create a list to show an array basically. So first of all, I feel like I'll just make it 5 since this is basically what this will be about. Right. Okay, and then we need to provide what, and then also number of elements, in which initial we make it 0, and then we provide members and then number of elements. Just forgot the reference. Okay. So add 5 member, add points for a specific member. Sure. So 2 points for a specific number. We also need sub, right? And then display top number, top, and then last one display all. So now let's come here. Let's expand this thing. So adding points, what are we going to be doing on adding points? Okay, so we're going to say add points, and then we specify the name of the member. Oh, we're gonna say add points. What's happening on add points? Oh, add points is gonna ask us to provide the name. Okay, so we just have to say add points, and then obviously numbers, and then let me copy this thing. Seems like I'll need it everywhere. No, let me provide the ref. Let me copy this. Yeah. Now we subtract. Do we have subtract points? Let's just paste display. Okay, we just say top member, then finally display members. Let's open this thing. Now we're gonna So member name. So as we said, we are at the point where we have to provide the member name. I'll call it Abram. And handle an exception object reference is not set. Oops, we did not create an object. Where is it? Where are we adding the member? Okay, this is where we are adding a member. What do we do? Okay. Okay, so let's try it again. What is going on here? System not reference, object reference is not. So on line 45. Wait, we're giving an exception. I don't know where it is. Some my object reference is not. Program.member exists. And line 36. So if member exists, pro is this thing. If so here we're checking there, and then there's a chance at specific 0 there is nothing. Wait, what is actually happening? Let's try it again. No, let's not try it. We have to debug this thing. Let's debug and see what's happening. I'm gonna provide. Wait, I can access my console from this thing. So wait. Okay, I'm not so sure what's going to be. Because here I provide output. Okay, let's check something if this one will work. Let's put this thing. Then the launch. Let's make use of external terminal. Let's close this thing. Let's debug again. Okay, so this is what the program looks like. So member name, I wanna see what's happening. So we hit the breakpoint. So now, so member list, it's equals. We have a list of 5, but most of the objects are not. It makes sense. It makes sense. Because when we try to get name, we only to find out it makes sense. So how do we prevent this problem? That's why we need this thing. That would make sense why we need this number of elements. Because if we can use, okay, we need what? This number of elements. It's very important. Let me just put it like this so that it becomes. Okay, let's debug it again. Let's try to see what's happening. Oh, I see. I haven't changed something. Instead of list.length, I'm just gonna say, yeah, let's try to do. Yo, I'm getting tired of this thing. Okay, so we have so now let's come here. So let's see. N is supposed to see, that means we won't get into this thing, we're just gonna return false. Then we get back here if so wait a minute, why did I say member doesn't exist? Because so wait, when member doesn't exist, okay, it makes sense. So now we're gonna redo one, gonna create another member inserting. So we insert our member, but we have not yet incremented this thing, which is wrong. So let's try to do that again. So this is it's a part of debugging, making sure that our code does what is expected. Okay, now same thing. So let's try to just jump straight. Okay, let's. Okay, and then even. Okay. It should ask us to provide another name number 2, and which will be let me just remove all the breakpoints. If however we have another exception, we'll debug from there. How many are we supposed to provide for Iceland, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Wait, let's see. Testing. Oh. So we provide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Provided 6 members. How is add member working? Okay, let's try to see. Because we suppose 5 members basically. Okay, let's put our breakpoint here. Every time when you add a member, can I just try to put this thing on the side and then put my console? Oh, it's not gonna show. Let's try it again. So we have my console up here. So we are at this point. Say add name and we'll say everyone. Then we proceed. I is equals to 1. another name. Let's put it here. Oh, it makes sense. So when we adding points, it wasn't specific. It acted like it's part of any member. So here we said when we add points, let's see what's happening at add points. Let's say member name, add points, and then let's do this. Now let's do this thing. We're trying to make it look good now. Okay, let's bring it over here. So okay, let's remove the breakpoint now. Okay, let's proceed. Around. Okay, now we're gonna say Catlejo Alvarado John. The last one should be Kate, something like that. Member. So now we need to add points to specific things. Let's remember something. When you instantiate these objects, all of them had a what? A merit point of what? Of 0. So now we just have to specify. Let's say points obtained. So let's say 50. Now I've managed to obtain 50 points. So we are done with the part. So now we need to add some points. Now we're going to subtract some points to my name again. Even though this thing, okay, it wasn't specific, let's also add that part. It's this one. Yep. This is how it's supposed to be, so that it becomes. So I'm just going to say merit points. Let's minus 10. Oh, it closed everything. Let's console so that doesn't take a key. So let's try to add some titles. So seems like you have most of it. So I'm going to say top member, dot display. Yeah, top member. Display member. Okay. Oh, we just have to say the top member display. So basically this thing is already formatted. Okay. So let's just so now it's gonna say top member. Nice. At least we will definitely understand what is happening. So now we do have display members. So now we're gonna say display all members. Yeah. And then let's do this again. No problem. Okay. So now let's run it instead of debug. Okay, basically Okay, let me bring it over here. Member name to add points. Let me just set that wrong. Let me give myself some points for coding. Member name to us. Let's subtract 10. Oh, it said member name doesn't exist. So here we're supposed to provide the name, on which you're supposed to be Abraham. So a member doesn't exist. Top member with 50 points, meaning we couldn't subtract the 10 points. This basically works. Let's try to run it again. Make sure that next time we provide the right information. Yo, this thing has been going for so long. 1 hour, 1 minute. So Abraham, member name, and then we should make it like points obtained. Let's say 50. Member name Abraham, merit points to subtract. Let's say 10. And then as you can see, member name Abraham, points obtained, which is 10. So seems like the challenge, we managed to kill it. Everything, display top member, we can display the top member at 5. This is great. So this thing never requested us to add. So at this point we're just adding 1 point. We can make it a loop on which it keeps asking add points. You want to add a point, and then we'll specify the name of the member. But in this case, just kind of keep it to 1, meaning you add you add points to only 1 member, and then you can only subtract points to only 1 member. And then we display after the subtraction and addition of the points, then I will display all members. So that's it for this video. This video was way too long. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next upcoming videos.